What's up, YouTube? Mike with Mike's Manga Hunt here, back again, and today it's finally time to recap all the stuff I read in December. Got a few things to get through, so without further ado, let's get started. Right, so first I wanted to apologize for getting this video out so late. I actually planned on getting this thing out like 2 weeks ago, but I was still reading some stuff, and then I did a bunch of other videos instead, and I got a little bit distracted and work and stuff, had to put it off for a bit. But we're here now. Looking back on December, I didn't read too much. I feel it's kind of more of like a break read for me. I once again kind of caught up on a couple things, plus started one new series that I cannot wait to talk about. But before we get into all that, again, I do want to say, again, this is a big spoiler warning for any of the series discussed so far. I'm just going to ramble on about everything that I have read and my opinions on those things. So, again, spoiler warnings for Spy Family, Bleach, Love is War, and now 20th Century Boys. So, now that that's there, give it some time. And without further ado, let's talk some Bleach. Alright, so after taking a month off from reading after the Aranka arc, because I wanted to read more things, and I also felt like that was a good spot to stop. Like, it was a spot where I can remember what was going on before that, so I'm not going to be too lost. It's a very key moment. I finally decided to bring back Bleach, and I read the Lost Agent arc. This is an arc that I've heard very mixed things about before I going into it. I knew one thing about the arc going into it, unfortunately, already. One of the bigger things. But I heard a lot of things like, oh, it's kind of just like this over-glorified like filler arc. It's like okay or whatever, but I actually really enjoyed it. I think it might be one of my favorite arcs that I've read so far. I mean, like that notion of like, oh, it's just filler. Like that's not necessarily a bad thing. I thought the characters in this arc were really cool. I thought the development was really cool. I thought the whole concept of it was cool. So Ichigo, now without his powers, he's kind of missing like the drive of being like a Soul Reaper. He meets up with this kind of group who like know how to get it back. And they kind of take him through a bunch of training where he learns how to use the full bring, which is another cool like transformation, I guess, that he can do with like his powers from like his deputy badge like makes him like kind of like a Soul Reaper again, but not all the way. They're doing that. They have another guy kind of like following them who I thought was like the coolest dude ever. His name was Tsukishima, which is like the guy from Haikyuu, which is a point I wanted to make about characters in manga with the same exact name in different series, because all I kept thinking about was the guy from Haikyuu. But this guy was so cool. He had the power to like meld people's minds and like manipulate the past into thinking that like he was there, or like different things happened differently. And like the way he just messes with all of Ichigo's friends is just so crazy. Like this guy's like the coolest guy, and unfortunately he's in like this arc. Like I wish he was around this the entire thing. There is a major twist in this arc. I'm going to say it right now, where the guys that are working with him are actually like the villains. And the Tsukishima was working with them and made like the main guy like lose his memory so he can like fully conduct the plan. So now they have all of Ichigo's power that he's kind of unlocked. And then like Rukia and all of the Soul Reapers just show up and like split all their energy into Ichigo to get his powers back, which was like the coolest thing ever. I knew like a part of it was going to happen already. That was like what I had spoiled to me a long time ago. But just seeing that again happen, even though I knew it was going to happen, just freaked me out. I was going crazy seeing all of them over again. And then we got to see some of them fight again. So anytime Kenpachi or like Byakuya fight, it's just like, I'm all for it. Like, please fight in the 1,000-Year Blood War. I cannot wait for that when I get there. It was just so cool. The fights are pretty cool. Uryu was cool once he kind of like healed up. Chad was there, you know, doing stuff. We got Orihime still in the picture. I felt like the fight between like the main guy just ended. Like I was like reading it. It was like getting cool. And then it was like, all right, you won. And it was over. So like, I was like, what's like, I thought it just ended too abruptly. I don't know if that's just me or if that actually happens in like this fight. Also that they try to throw in this twist with like the deputy badge, how like they like always know what he's doing and they can control him. And Ichigo's just like, I don't care. Like, I just want to fight. Which I thought was really weird that they're like building this twist up and then it just meant absolutely nothing. Trying to think of other little points I have here. Of course, Urahara and Ichigo's dad are kind of planning behind the scenes. That's always cool. I know they're gonna have a huge role going forward because we have one arc left now in Bleach, and it's the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. It is the longest arc by far, and I cannot wait to read this. I heard the anime is really cool. The first season's wrapping up, I believe, today. So I cannot wait to do it. I have a few volumes I need to get first, just a couple towards the end. And once I do, I'm just going to binge the whole thing, like straight through. I don't want to take any breaks because I am so ready for this arc. It's going to be like insane. So overall, I really enjoyed the Lost Agent arc. I will say it was better in my opinion than like the intro stuff. I enjoyed it better than the Soul Society arc too, which is like a huge thing. And I want to say I don't know if I liked it more than the Aranka arc. Definitely more than the end of the Aranka arc. I guess like the middle part where they're like in the Hollow World trying to rescue Orihime. It was better. It was not as good as that, but it was better than the rest of it. So one of my favorite arcs so far, and that's what I read for Bleach. Love this arc and cannot wait for the 1,000 Year Blood War. All right, next thing I read this month was just one volume of Spy Family. It has been a long time since I read Spy Family because the U.S. releases for Spy Family are so few and far between. Like volume, I think 7 came out in like March of this year, and then this didn't come out till like September, October. So I've had this sitting on my shelf for a very long time, and I kept putting it off because I'm just going to wait closer to the next volume. And then I was like getting antsy to read it because I wanted something a little bit more wholesome, a little bit more pick-me-up. So I said I'm going to read this volume of Spy Family. Thankfully, the last volume ended like right as like the next arc was starting. It is the cruise ship arc. It is a huge arc for Yor as her character. I loved everything she did in this arc. It was so cool. So she's like a bodyguard protecting like this underground agent like and her family, and they're on like this cruise ship watching out for like, you know, people who might try to like harm them. But then Anya and Twilight are also on the cruise ship as like just regular like guests, so it's like typical Spy Family shenanigans and stuff like that. But Yor has so many cool moments in this volume alone. Just like her fighting, the artwork in here is so beautiful. Like I was going crazy. It was so good. I could not put this down. This series is so damn wholesome. I cannot believe it. There's a part where Anya, of course, is a telepath, and over here is like that they're going after Yor. So she's like distracting Twilight in like the gift shop so Yor can fulfill her mission. It was so cute. Anya is such a great character. Like definitely like one of the best characters like in anything so far. I really adore her and how much she cares about those two and how much she wants to keep their secrets alive. Of course, what I thought was kind of typical was this like big like there's like this big fireworks show, and that's like all the actions happening like up on like the top deck of like the ship. All these fireworks are going on, and Yor's just like kicking ass. She is just like amazing. I cannot gush over her enough. And then we get it to be continued. And I'm like, no, I thought the arc would be finished in this one volume, but it's not. And the next one doesn't come out till like next year. It's like February, March again. And I'm like, why? I wouldn't have read it had I known that. But again, I really enjoyed the beginning of this arc. I thought the development for Yor was incredible because I feel like we haven't really seen much about her other than like, you know, she's an assassin who is like disguised herself as the housewife. She's got a very weird brother who she cares about and like always wants to look out for. But besides that, we haven't seen her like fight a lot. And this was like just all dedicated to like her mission and like her fighting and her kind of coming to terms with like her new family, who she's kind of starting to see as their own, which we all thought, you know, probably knew it was going to happen. So I don't have much to say here besides this is like the Yor volume. It is so good. Why are these releases so few and far between is what I want to know. So I guess we won't be talking about Spy Family for a while, but I guess the anime is there to keep us entertained when we need it to be. So that was Volume 8 of Spy Family. Easily my favorite volume I've read so far of this series, and I cannot wait to see the resolution of this cruise ship arc in like 6 months. All right, I feel it's not one of these reading videos. We don't talk about Love is War. One of my favorite series to read. I cannot get enough of it, and I'm really sad that I'm approaching the end. A few volumes left, but I'm very sad we're approaching the end. So this month I read volumes 23 and 24, and they mainly focused around like Miko and like her development. But the first big thing that happened was now that everybody knows about Miyuki and Kage's relationship, except for Chika. So the beginning of 23 kind of like broke it to her, and she didn't take it very well at first, but she kind of came around. There was this very like wholesome moment where like Chika and Miyuki were going through another one of those like crazy training arcs they go through, and like Chika kind of finally coming to terms that like he doesn't need her anymore to like help her. Now Kaguya is there to do that for her, and it was just a really sweet thing that I really liked. And then a couple chapters later, like Chika now is feeling like left out and like wants a boyfriend because everybody like is like coupled up pretty much, and I can kind of relate to that a little bit. So, but you know, of course, she has her little funny twist on it, and like they're like going through like what she wants in like a person, and they just can't figure it out. It was really good, but a lot of development here on Miko Ino and Mr. Yu Ishigami. I didn't realize also how far they went back. They've known each other since like middle school. I just knew they always like were at odds with each other, but they were actually kind of friendly with each other for a while, which I didn't realize. But we're starting again. You likes Miko, Miko likes you, but they're not admitting it to each other. So it's like, oh no, we're doing this again. We're doing the same series again, which I could definitely like see happening too. But a lot of development, like I said, a lot of gripe between Miko and her friend, whose name I don't know, but she's the girl with the glasses. And going back a long time ago, you find out that she also liked you very, very much, but saw that Miko liked her too. So she kind of like backed off and like let her have it, because he also saw that like you kind of also liked her back a little bit. I thought it was just so sweet and like so sad at the same time. But now all she wants is to see you happy. And Miko's kind of like manipulating him and like kind of like melding him, and she didn't really like that, and the way that she was like kind of going about that. And they had this big talk, you know, in the later volume where they became good friends again. It was just very, very, very nice to see. I just really, really liked that whole like development. Miko was a character that I did not like when she first showed up, because she was just kind of annoying. She was like, I get it. She's like a straight edge kind of like, you know, disciplinary. You're going to do this by the book, you know, use a slacker, no video games in the hall, you know, very, very follow the rules. But now she's kind of developed into like this more like, I don't know, wholesome character. She's kind of going through like her own emotions, coming in terms of her feelings and things like that. And I really like her now. She's kind of become one of my favorites over the last like couple volumes. And it's just so weird now. I think I was saying this before. Like, remember in the beginning where like this was all just like little anecdotes like here and there of like little stories, and like they weren't really connecting. Sometimes they would, sometimes they wouldn't. Now it's like everything like leads into another. Like this, like the last volume led into this volume, which is the next volume that's going to come out. And like I was like, wow, like this is like where it really got good. 'Cause I didn't like it when it was like all little anecdotes, and now that it's like straight through, I want to read it like all together. So it's like, come on, please. I might actually do that. So we are now entering the final arc of this series, which they had a whole big thing about it in here, and it looks like it's going to be an intense one. So Kaguya right now is missing. And like her brother took like Miyuki to like go visit. Like, I gotta show you something. And like they found Kaguya's dad, who's on his deathbed, which I imagine this whole big fight's gonna happen now for like who's the heir to like the whole conglomerate. You probably have like the rival family gonna like try to fight in, and I feel like there's gonna be all this drama going in, and poor Miyuki's like gonna be roped into all of it because that's his girlfriend. And it's like he's leaving for college soon. You know, it's like everything's going on right now, and like we're really actually coming to the end of this. I can't believe it. I have no idea where this is gonna go, because Kaguya's brother already like gives me bad vibes, because he had like Hayasaka like spy on her for like the longest time, and I know he just wants her on his side. So like he has stronger like claims to like the heir of like the whole family. So I don't really know what to expect. Is like Miyuki gonna side with this guy? Because remember they had this whole thing a couple volumes ago with Hayasaka, and this like, you know, and they all had that confrontation where Miyuki's like, I helped. You just sprayed pepper in one of them or whatever, and like Hayasaka and Kage did it all. So I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this is going at all. There's a lot that needs to be kind of like wrapped up in these last like 40-ish chapters. So I'm really excited to see. A part of me wants to wait so I can savor more of this, but now that I'm caught up to like the every like 4 or 5 month releases, I don't know if I can do that. I might read ahead. I guess I guess I'll find out next month if I do that or not, and we'll update you all on there. This is my favorite series to read that I'm currently reading, besides One Piece, of course, and I cannot believe that it's finally coming to the end. So that's all I write on Love is War. We have one series left, and it's a big one. All right, we have one series left to talk about, and it is a big one. And I always heard good things about this, and I put it off to reading it for so long, and I finally opened it up, and oh my god, it is so good. And that's 20th Century Boys by the legendary Urasawa. I was trying to remember what his name was. By the legendary Urasawa. This guy's made like some of the best mangas ever. This, Monster, and Pluto, which are like apparently like I said, like with Berserk on like top of the top on like everyone's recommendations. And this might be the best volume 1 I have ever read. It is so crazy, so intense, so good. I love a good mystery, and it's like this weird like mystery sci-fi adventure kind of like manga. So it stars this guy here. His name's Kenji. He's a shop owner, and when he was a kid, him and like his friends would like have like they had this like club. They created this like symbol for it, and they would like make these stories and write them in like this book, which I think I ended up calling the Book of Prophecies. So then years later, like this cult emerges where like we're using his symbol, and like people are dying that were like close to like their group, and like this like cult kind of forms, and all the things they were like they were like prophesizing and like the stories they're making start like coming true in the world. There's like poison gas like in like cities. There's like an airport blows up. And then like there's like this also like this like robot that's like being built that's gonna like terrorize like the town, and like this cult called like the Friends is like behind it all, and they have like an influence in like the government now, and like they have influence in the police force, and they're like really spreading, and like the main guy is like the brother or like the main, you know, the main friend, and he definitely has like some ties to their past. You think it's one guy, it's not this guy, and this guy's actually gonna like this guy from their past is gonna help Kenji now kind of figure out what's going on. I don't want to say much because like I don't want to spoil like the mystery of it, because like I think it's really good. I was on edge of my seat the entire time like reading through it. Like I will say one spoiler, like one of their friends from like in the past like die, which kind of is like what starts Kenji into like investigating like who these people are, like what the murder is. And he eventually like finds the guy who did it. And like he's like, you got to stop them, like these guys are crazy, like all this stuff. And it was just like, oh my god, that's how volume 1 ends. Like so good, so intense. Like it had me guessing. I'm still guessing because every time I think I know who the guy, like the main guy is, I'm wrong. And I'm like I need to keep reading this. This is just so good. There's like a subplot with like Kenji's sister. He's kind of raising her child, but she's like gone right now, and she's kind of rumored to be with the Friends and like the cult, and like the guy that like is like the guy she had the kid with is possibly like the leader, and like he sends like all of like these cult members to like the shop to overrun it, to like try to like get the baby who's like the heir, I guess, to like the cult. And it's just like so freaky, so weird, so like original. That's what it really is. It's original. Like there's all these different tropes in here. It keeps kind of flashing back and forth between like the past and the future, and I cannot wait to talk about this more and read this more. Like I said, I don't want to say too much because I want everyone to experience this, like the twists and turns as it comes with me. So I don't want to say too much. Just like if you're looking for something new to read, just like read this. This is so good. This is the best volume 1 I've ever read, hands down. And all I want to do now is just like read more. And now that I shot this, I finally can. So I'm probably going to go do that right after this video. But that's all that I read this month. Like I said, not a lot, but you know, a few good things. I cannot wait to start reading stuff again. I always kind of like stop before I do these videos. So I'm going to start reading it again. So the January reading list is probably going to be like crazy good. So a few notes before I end the video here. We have a Discord server now. Feel free to join it. I'm gonna put the link in the description, of course. I might even put it like in a card somewhere if I can do that. I just kind of made a little one for us. You know, people just want to come and chat about like anime, manga, video games, whatever you want. I'm always in there. I'll kind of join in the chats too. Another thing is the Twitch streams are going strong. Right now we are currently playing through Eternal Darkness on the GameCube and having a lot of fun playing that. That is a great game. And we'll probably be live again, I want to say, in a few days. You can check on there for my schedule. I always have it up on there. And I really hope to see you guys come in and like just chat one day. I'm just a very chill time. So I definitely wanted to mention that too. So that's all I have for right now. I will see you guys all in a few days for the pickups video of the year. The last one of the year being that. And I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you all for watching.